Today, the koan that I'm going to talk about is Mu. And for those of you who may not know or have not started koan practice, Mu is it's the first koan that we all do, that all Zen students in this lineage start koan practice with the koan Mu. And it's in the Gateless Gate book. And so the way they talk about koans in this koan is as a barrier, right? It's set up as, koans are set up as a barrier that we're supposed to work through or break through or climb over or walk around, however we can get to the other side. And it's reflects this gateless gate, right? So there is no barrier, and yet there is a barrier. It's a barrier of no barrier. And so let's see. The case, it's Joshu's koan. A monk asked Joshu in all earnestness, "Does a dog have Buddha nature or not?" Joshu said, "Mu." I think he more yelled it. Mu. And the monk who asked the question was enlightened at that point, which is, it's kind of miraculous in itself. This awakening is a miracle, and it's ordinary, because we all wake up and we all have many instances of realization. And so it's very ordinary, and yet it's so special. It's amazing to have the opportunity to wake up out of our dualism, out of our self-centeredness, selfness, and wake up to the oneness of all things, and that we are connected to everything, and everything is connected to us. And so, literally, Mu means no or nothing. And I'm certainly not an expert in the language or translations. So just based on my own understanding, this no isn't a literal answer. He's not literally answering the question. So does a dog have Buddha nature? No. He's not saying no, a dog does not have Buddha nature. He's saying no to the questioning. So it's not a no to the question, it's a no to the questioning. It's drop it. Stop thinking. Stop separating. And so to get to that place of non-separation, of not separating, of not questioning, to get to there is the effort. We're born and raised to ask questions, and we're born and raised to discriminate and differentiate and discern. That's how we develop as humans, and it's how we learn, and it's how we make progress and evolve. So we have to question what is it? What is it not? What's this? What's that? Are these different? Are they the same? So that's normal. And so this koan is trying to help us break through this very normal, ordinary, and essential, it's essential pattern we have of questioning and discriminating. And if we question and we discriminate thoroughly and sincerely, then we can come to this point where we have the potential to let go of that. And so I think the main point I want to make about this koan mu is that it's about doubt. It's cultivating this this energy of doubt. And it's a very different energy than suspiciousness. It's not suspicious. It's not like, well, I don't know. I don't think what they're saying is right. It's like, I don't know. It's not like, oh, I doubt this will work, or I doubt that, what they're saying is true. It's really a doubt of experience, based on experience. I experience progress, and then I doubt it. Is it really this? Is it really true? Am I really seeing it? Am I really experiencing oneness? And so to work on this koan, mu is what is mu? What is it? And the way they teach it, the way we teach it, is to really, it's a physical experience. It's not a mental exercise. It's a very physical experience of pouring our whole body and mind into it. So it's, what is it? And sort of cultivating this Ujjayi breath, I guess, is what we call it. There's a practice in yoga where you kind of breathe, and you're breathing like where your lungs are touching your chest, and it's like you can hear it. It's like, right? The difference between breathing like this and breathing like this. And so this more physical breathing of, what is it? What is it? You can feel the lungs vibrating with that connection. And so this physical experience of doubt, breathing into it like, what is it? What is mu? What is mu? It starts to generate a vibration that's the whole body. And we sit with that, like that, for hundreds of hours. And so this very physical, and it is emotional to doubt, it's doubting, it's creating this positive doubt, or it's a constructive doubt. to cultivate and develop that is one of the most powerful practices that we have. And it really cuts through our discrimination and our questioning. So it's a question that cuts through questioning. And so we may have a realization of oneness. We realize intellectually that we're all one. And that's a great, it's a great light at the end of the tunnel. It's like, I can make sense that we're all one, but I'm still not feeling it. And so this practice helps us to start to feel it. And so this energy of doubt is bigger than mu. I think mu is a brilliant way to help us start to connect with it. So this energy of constructive doubt is really what I want to encourage all of us to practice with, and to practice with more. Mu is really such a great koan. I mean, I really love it. And I loved working on it. And I loved answering it and getting it wrong. It took me like 3 years to answer it. And then the koans after that are different, right? There's not a lot of koans where we're encouraged so thoroughly and so strongly to go into this doubt. It's meant to be an awakening koan. We're supposed to wake up through this koan. And once we wake up, then it's like the first step. It's like now our foot is in the door. And then we practice the rest of the koans, and we keep practicing to refine and develop the initial awakening that we get from this koan. And I think that we may lose some of this, the magic of this koan, if we don't intentionally come back to it. At least that was my experience, right? The koans after mu, I tended to work on a little more intellectually. It was like, well, what is it? What is it? Which is different than, what is it? And so to recover this, I'm encouraging us to recover this deep physical practice with koan. Because this energy that it cultivates is grounding energy. If I'm lost in thought or questioning this, what is it? It just cuts through and grounds my energy, grounds my being. Just like here, down to the center. And it's a humbling energy, right? It's harder to be stuck in knowing or arrogant when I'm cutting through to, what is it? Am I really seeing it? Who am I? What is this? It's humbling. It brings us to the place where we don't know. And it's refining. This energy is a refining energy. It's and not in an intellectual way, but in an energetic way. It's grounding my energy, humbling myself, and working on myself, and refining my understanding, refining my selfishness. And I think in general, it's such a powerful practice because it really it hands the ball to us as practitioners to experience it for ourselves and to see it for ourselves. You know, I just saw this morning a news story about some cult leader that got arrested. I think it was in Texas. And it just made me think, I'm like, if they all had Mu to practice on, they would be less susceptible to a cult leader, because we have to doubt, is this really it? Is what they say really true for me? What is it? What are they saying? How can I experience the truth? My truth, based on what they say, rather than how can I experience their truth in spite of what I say? So I encourage those of you who are not working on koan to consider this doubt energy as a life koan that we can practice anytime and all the time. I don't mean we can practice it all the time. I mean, we can practice it anytime we choose. The more we practice it, the better, right? So it's a bit of a goal of like, if I can introduce this questioning more in my life throughout my day. Am I really seeing it? What is it? It's very powerful, you know. So, you know, if you're working with a teacher and you're not working on koans, then I encourage you to, you know, you can talk about it with a teacher. I'm not trying to give anybody really like a teaching right now. I'm not trying to give you something to work on, but just something to think about and to consider, you know, consider. And for those of you who are working on Mu, to see this as a physical grounding practice. And so to touch a bit more on what the book, you know, how the book talks about it, it kind of represents kind of this, what I consider this, it's like the pinnacle of 1970s Zen. The way they talk about it is very dramatic. Then all of a sudden, Mu will break open. It will astonish the heavens and shake the earth. It will be just as if you had snatched the great sword of General Khan. If you meet a Buddha, you will kill him. If you meet a patriarch, you will kill him. Though you stand on the brink of life and death, you will enjoy the great freedom. Exhaust every ounce of energy you have in doing it. And if you do not give up on the way, you will be enlightened. The way a candle in front of the altar is lightened by one touch of fire. So it just sounds incredible. Oh, that was very intriguing to me when I was in my 20s. And at the same time, now I'm not such a big fan of that kind of talk. I think it got a lot of 20-year-old, what's the energy, like sort of this, I don't know, alpha energy attracted to Zen, which is okay, right? But I think it leaves out a lot. For example, we talked about therapy and Zen and counsel yesterday, and the overlap, and it brings up the discussion and questions of mental health and how mental health also overlaps with Zen practice and training, or doesn't. And I heard a story, it's a true story, of a student who was struggling with mental health and was reading this kind of stuff, and he literally thought that he was supposed to kill his teacher, and he was making plans to kill his teacher. And it didn't work out, right? Somehow there was an intervention along the way, or a derailment of the plan, and he was able to snap out of it. But it's dangerous. This kind of extreme talk can be dangerous. And that's an extreme example, but it is on our spectrum. And this person is not a crazy person. They're very functional and happy now. Not that being crazy and happy are different, but he's doesn't have a diagnosis and isn't struggling with mental health, as I understand it now. But anyway, so basically the point is that it can we are all vulnerable to this kind of language, for good or bad. And so that's a caveat, that I think is important to always include in the discussion when we're talking about something that's really powerful. This energy is very powerful, and it's life-changing. It can change our lives, and it does change our lives. And so we want to take care of it in the best way we can.